Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your teacher Usman Ali, and I'm recording the video for the solution of the task number 3 of the chapter 3 of international finance. The topic is arbitrage, cross-currency arbitrage actually. So if you see here, now that we have done a task before, so you have the basic understanding of that. There is no need to explain that again. So let's directly solve the numerical. We got 10,000 pounds in our hand, and we plan to convert these 10,000 pounds into Australian dollar. A question may come to your mind that how would I know that 10,000 pounds would be converted into Australian dollar? Because of the box. I have created a box here, which means, or which gives me a hint, okay, that actually I have 10,000 pounds because this is the currency I have and this is the currency I don't have. So in other terms, I want to say that I want to convert 10,000 pounds into Australian dollars actually, okay? So what I did was that I have included a third currency into this process of pound and Australian dollar. I included Canadian dollar. So it's kind of that arbitrage, if you remember, sorry, the triangle, if you remember, the direct method and indirect method. So I'm going to follow the same process actually. So let's say if you're watching, by mistake, you're watching this video first, then I would say to pause the video and watch the video of task 1 and then come back here, so you will get the basics idea actually from that video. So first of all, we can go for cross quote, or you can say a kind of cross multiplication, in which I'm supposed to multiply the non-problematic quotes, okay? So that's Australian dollar divided by Canadian dollar, which is equal to 1.5. And then I multiply left hand side to the left hand side and right to the right. So I will multiply this with Canadian dollar divided by pound, okay? And I'm going to multiply 1.5 with 2.61. So if you see here, Canadian dollar can get very easily cancelled with each other, and the remainder would be Australian dollar divided by pound is equal to 1.5 multiplied by 2.61. So my rounded figure would be 3.915. This is actually, you can say, kind of cross quote, though that cross quote has a technical meaning as well. Now the next thing I will see is my cross quote equal to market quote or not? So this is my market price, which we can say market quote. Now my cross quote is 3.915 and my market quote is 3.851. So there is a difference. They are not equal. If they are not equal, then it means yes, there is arbitrage opportunity present. Somewhere, someone can actually have profit out of it, okay? Now, we want to know now that are we the person who can make profit out of it or not, okay? To further investigate it, that can we earn profit or can I earn profit out of this or not? So what I will do, again, if you remember, I'm going to divide my whole process into a direct method and an indirect method actually. So let me write down direct method and the indirect method. Okay. Now, in the direct method, I will try to convert my 10,000 pounds directly into Australian dollars. And in order to do so, I'm going to use the quote, the exchange rate. So it's Australian dollar divided by pound is equal to 3.851. Okay. Now, if you remember the rule of which I have discussed in the task number 1 video, currency in hand must be written at the bottom. So currency in hand we have is 10,000 pounds. Pound is already written at the bottom. No worries. We can proceed actually. So 1 pound will be equal to or is equal to 3.851 Australian dollar. So if I wish to convert 10,000 pounds, that would be equal to quantity multiplied by rate. And the quantity is 10,000 pounds. The rate is 3.851. So the rounded figure or the Australian dollars that I will get would be 38,510 Australian dollar I will actually receive if I directly convert it, okay? That's the direct one. Then I go indirect one. And the indirect one is that I try to include a third currency in the whole process. Okay, so I will first convert my 10,000 pounds to a third currency, which if you see in the numerical is the Canadian dollar. Okay, sorry for this, it's just because of my hand. Okay, and then whatever Canadian dollar I will receive, I'm gonna convert those Canadian dollar into Australian dollar actually. So it's like that triangle, if you remember. I have 10,000 pounds, okay, and then I convert it to Canadian, and then I convert it back to the Australian. And here in the direct method, I have already converted into Australian. So it's like the direct method and the indirect method actually. Okay, remember this. So 10,000 pound into Canadian. We got an exchange rate of Canadian dollar and pound. Let me write down here. Canadian dollar divided by pound is equal to 2.61. Currency in hand rule. Currency in hand is pound, and in hand currency must be written at the bottom, which is already down there in the exchange rate, so that's fine. 1 pound will be equal to 2.61 Canadian dollars. Okay, or my 10,000 pounds will be equal to quantity multiplied by the rate. So the quantity I have is 10,000 pounds, and the rate I have is 2.61 per pound. So if I multiply that, I will receive 26,100 Canadian dollars. Okay, so what I will do is, when I receive this 26,100 Canadian dollar, then I must convert it to Australian. So I will convert these 26,100 Canadian dollar to Australian dollars, which for that I'm going to use this exchange rate. Australian dollar divided by Canadian dollar is equal to 1.5. Then I will see the rules existent. The rule was currency in hand must be written at the bottom. It is Canadian, and Canadian is at the bottom. So we can very confidently say that we can proceed actually in the numerical, and that's 1 Canadian will be equal to or is equal to 1.5 Australian dollars. So I wish to convert, or I plan to convert 26,100 Canadian dollars. So that would be quantity multiplied by the rate. And the quantity is 26,100 multiplied by the rate is 1.5. If you multiply this, we end up with 39,150 Australian dollars actually. Okay, let's call it as B, because this is the second procedure, the indirect procedure I've done. So if you see here, B is greater than A. If I follow the indirect method, I will receive 39,150 Australian dollars as compared to the direct method. In the direct method, I end up with the lesser value. Okay, so it's like B is greater than A. So it means that my profit flow will be that first I will convert pounds into Canadian dollars, and then Canadian dollar must be converted into Australian dollar. This is actually called as the profit flow. So that's the answer of task number 2. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe.